Hinge games here. I just wanted to make a quick video / comparison between anbernic RG280V, that's my favorite of 2023, and the new anbernic RG35XXSP. And this one is not mine, I just borrowed it from my friend to give you my perspective on whether you would want one of those, whether you would want to upgrade or buy one for yourself, and if you want to buy one, which one should you choose and whatnot. So just my 5 cents on the same topic. I don't have many of handhelds. I actually personally own only this one, and I bought it for the fact of having something really small and pocketable and portable. And if you're interested in it, you can check out my video on this. It's pretty long, but covers pretty much everything. I was really curious about this anbernic release because to me it seemed like it's everything what this handheld does, but more and better. Because even if we speak only about the screen size here is 3.5 inch plus 1 centimeter horizontally and plus 1 centimeter vertically, more or less. So pretty big difference if you ask me. If I wouldn't have this handheld right now already, most likely if I would buying a new one, I would go with this clamshell model. The downside in between those two, right? Like this anbernic 280V is definitely thinner. It's basically has a thickness of, as you can see, of like 1/2. So you take the screen off from this clamshell device up to this half, and that's the whole thickness of my anbernic here. I'm putting them both on a table, and yeah, kind of the same, to be honest, kind of the same. So the height is the same, the width is like this different. You can see that, right? And the thickness, this is what I'm talking about. It's like the thickness of this handheld without a cover. Ideally, what I would want to have from this handheld is I want it to be as thin as this, or at least a tiny bit thicker, not this much thicker, and have a even bigger screen. I understand that they were going for gameboy SP here, copying looks and feel and aesthetics, and even the hinge is quite nicely is locking in this negative angle for whatever reason you might want it. Myself personally, I don't see a need to sell this one and upgrade to this one, just because when I carry around, usually I play retro systems up to Game Boy Advance here and PlayStation 1, and on this one I could also play Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, but it also can handle some of the PSP titles, and I'll show it a little bit later. Does it worth it for me as of now? Probably not. So myself, after seeing it in person, I decided that I don't want this upgrade, but the upgrade is quite big actually. So if the thickness wouldn't be a factor, I would totally consider it. The way to hold this handheld is very similar to the way I'm holding this. It's a little bit thicker and it's also a little bit wider, which also makes it more comfortable. But in general, it's a similar, this type of, I just cross my fingers kind of like this, and that's how I was holding my older anbernic, like that. And this is how I'm going to hold this one as well. So pretty much similar. But the screen here is way bigger, and it's definitely makes a difference to have this bigger screen. For ergonomics, also these buttons are very nicely, easily pressed. And also this one, R2 and L2 are a little bit elevated, as you can see. So I can feel the difference here when I'm clicking. So I jump using this right click button. I run with the B button here to enter a car. How do I hit? Yeah, I hit with another trigger button. And definitely using trigger buttons here is way more comfortable. And the screen here is also much bigger. Yeah. I can see that playing a game like GTA 2 here would be more comfortable just because my eyes are more relaxed when I'm playing it. Let me just show a comparison, Here I'm also running around, and here I'm running around. And in terms of playability or readability, you can see that like the smaller screen is definitely also readable. Like I actually beat half of the game on this RG280V. And the big deal was save states, custom save states on emulator in comparison with the original PC version. If I would be buying a new one, I would definitely get this clamshell device, also just for the sake of I can always turn it off and not care about screen protection and throw it in any pocket. It would stick out a little bit, protrude a little bit more in my pocket, but it still would be quite nice. Plus, while the price is not much different, it's also a kind of cheaper handheld, so to say, like $50–$60 more or less. It looks good. On a camera, it actually looks not that good as it does here in reality. And yeah, it's very, very comfortable. Get in the car, ride around. Totally playable. I can say that this is the first time actually I'm playing with a 3.5-inch screen. You can see the difference. So if I would buying a handheld right now, if I wouldn't have anything, and I would want something really portable and really pocketable, but at the same time I would actually want to play games, not just like have them in my pocket, but actually have a joy of playing them, I would go with this one. Because yes, it is a little bit thicker, but it's also so much more comfortable, and the clamshell form factor makes it really, really nice. And also the thing is that screen is tilted, so if wanted, like if this is more comfortable for me, I can always hold it like this for whatever reason, if I want to, right? And I still look at the screen comfortably, so I don't need to bend it, I can just tilt it 90 degrees. And if I need to mash buttons, I don't feel like screen shakes too much or it makes uncomfortable for me to play. Maybe on the footage it does like shake a little, but actually no, not really. Like I lock it and I'm playing and it's really nice. Yeah, I like it. Maybe by the end of this video I'll like it so much that I'll actually want to change it, but no, not yet. Basically for me it's like what I want from this handheld, this one provides me as well, and I already have it, so I don't need to spend money on it, right? But I'm definitely looking forward to Miyoo Mini, if they ever release it, the clamshell with 2 analog sticks, and if it will be more expensive, but at the same time if it will be even more performant and will be able to emulate, I don't know, PS2 maybe? Is it possible at all? Because if it's possible, that would be something I would definitely look forward to. Whatever, any Pokemon game. Yeah, that looks amazing. That looks awesome. The screen is huge, it's clear. I'm sure there are ways to make it even nicer, as in like adjust some scaling options, aspect ratios and whatnot, because maybe some of it is off right now by default, like I'm not sure how exactly they do it here. But yeah, it's really comfortable. Like I would be just sitting like this playing, and it's awesome. The screen is immediately smaller in comparison with this, right? Like immediately smaller, and it's still very playable. It's comfortable enough. I was playing it yesterday once again for 2 hours and having a lot of fun with it. But whenever there was something more like sensitive, like I needed to time my attacks, or I need to be very careful with my platforming and whatnot, and like it kind of got a little bit too cramped maybe, like jumping, hitting, jumping, walking around, trying to be precise. At some point it did feel a little bit uncomfortable. It just got me thinking yesterday exactly that maybe this 3.5-inch screen and like much more space to hold the handheld would be way more comfortable for like more skill-sensitive games. Not like turn-based RPG, but actually something real-time, something more skill-sensitive, so to say. So, is it fun to play it here? Yes, it's a lot of fun. Plus, I still like the fact that it's really small and pocketable. Like, I just like it so much. But the thing with this one is that this one is way less of a compromise of a gaming experience. I immediately pick up the screen here, and it already feels just comfortable to me, you know? Like, it's big, clear, and whenever I look at it, I actually, like, if I'm having 2 of those in my hands, I definitely want to play less with this, I think. I want to play on this one more, just because the screen is so much better. It can emulate some PSP titles, and I think it does have some PSP. Yeah, so you see it has some Dreamcast. Let's find some PSP. And let's open some Vice City game. I don't know much about it. Yeah, it is stretched vertically in a weird way, and it definitely could be adjusted in video settings. I just don't want to be bothered with it. And another thing which could be and should be adjusted is analog stick, because right now with D-pad I think I will not even be able to like walk around. Yeah, I could click a button though and ride. Does it work? But yeah, I cannot turn. But technically I believe you would be able to play some PSP here. It runs well enough that maybe with some frame skip or maybe even without it you would be able to play. Jump. Okay, let's just move with jumping. Instead of getting this, if you get this kind of clamshell, it's not only like more comfortable to carry around, minus the thickness, you just throw it in and you don't care about it, right? And you don't worry about it. And also you can emulate way more systems. Is there N64, I wonder? There should be. Don't know anything about it, so I'm just gonna launch whatever. Also the screen gets really bright. Outside you can still like figure it out and play. I'm still very interested though in Mio Mini with 2 sticks, because those sticks option potentially, if it could handle, for example, N64 with 6 or PSP emulated at better stage, or even emulate PlayStation 2, then that would be the machine to get. Oh, I can run around, yeah, D-pad. Feels totally okay. I'm jumping. What else can I do here? I'm rolling. Actually, it's really nice. And that's already something I cannot do on this 280V, unfortunately. Feels quite nice. If I would have one of those, I would definitely dive into these like systems and games which I have never ever even played, or sometimes haven't even heard in my life. So, looks okay, graphics are fine, resolution is high enough, and is it enjoyable? Yes, it is. And it's just so comfortable. Like this posture, even on RG280V I could play for like 2 hours in a row, feeling a little bit cramped in my like wrist sometimes, so sometimes needed to do some breaks and whatnot, but then like changing posture a little bit and still being able to continue to play. For example, GTA game or that Zelda game, A Link to the Past. But this one is like no problem at all. I'm just way more spaced out here, way more options to like change my posture should I need to hold it differently, should I want to hold it differently. And it's just pretty cool. And also I can rest hands on a table like this comfortably if I want to. And since it's a clamshell, I still can bend my screen and see everything I want to see. What's supposed to be a very small and quick video ended up being a little bit longer. But the main thing is that you want to get a new retro handheld, you've never had anything before at all, then this anbernic clamshell thing is pretty cool. Myself, I will stick to this one for now, just because I already have it, and there are a lot of games I didn't even try or didn't beat, and it's small enough and portable enough for me to keep on enjoying it. Like, it feels more pocketable in my hand for sure than this. The difference is not that big, but yes, it is wider, a little bit more hefty, chunky, and I do notice it more in my pocket. This one I almost don't notice in my pocket just because it's flatter actually. So if ever anbernic or Mio Mini or Mio or anyone else, Pau Kitty or someone, if they release a thin device like this thin, plus they might have even bigger screen without these thick bezels. Like, I don't care myself about the Game Boy aesthetics of it, right? I just want it to be as portable and as big of a screen as possible, like even bigger screen, almost bezel-less, for example. And with analog sticks would be even better, but even without analog sticks, just make it thinner, bigger screen, and For me, that would be an ultimate handheld. And yeah, I also wanted to say that this handheld also supports HDMI out, so you can connect it to bigger screen or TV. You can connect Bluetooth controllers here, and you could connect those through cable as well and Bluetooth. So technically, you can hook up a few gamepads, connect it to a bigger TV, and have it as your retro console machine stationary, for example, if you are somewhere with someone and you want to play games together. On this one, you cannot do that, so that's another big difference between these two, and another big reason to buy one of those. Also, speakers here, they are like backfiring, so music is going away from me. But here the speaker is really nice because it front fires at me, and I never really cover it because my hand's always here, so I always hear the sound as it comes. And it's a really nice little device. If I wouldn't have it, once again, I would definitely get this, just because with a little bit of thickness and a little bit more width, you get so much more versatility and comfort. And even like this one is already amazing, I still love it. But if you're getting your first one, go for this one. I don't think you will ever regret it, really. For this price, $50, it's really cool. So here's that. I didn't cover a lot, I didn't cover many systems, I didn't do any comparisons, I didn't do like performance tests and whatnot. The whole thing which I wanted to show is that for those who didn't know, this exists and it's amazing. And even though it's a little bit thicker than mine, older RG280V, but the screen is just so much bigger. For you, it doesn't look like a big difference, but in reality, especially when playing like PlayStation 1 games, for example, you do see things here way more. It's also way more comfortable to hold and play for longer periods of time. Bendable screen is really nice. Performance overhead is nice as well. On this handheld, some PlayStation titles would struggle, PlayStation 1. Then here PS1 would just fly, no problem at all, because it also can handle Dreamcast and some of the PSP ones. Can I recommend it? Yes, I recommend it. Can I recommend this one? The only reason to get this one over this clamshell, if one, for some reason you don't like clamshells, second, you don't want to play anything more performance intensive than PS1, so this handles PS1 but nothing above that. And if for whatever reason, like you don't care much about scratching your screen, but at the same time you don't want it to be a thick device, so this is thin, this is still very playable, very comfortable. Every game I throw at it, I was able to play. Like, I didn't quit any game, even here, due to the fact of it being unreadable. Like, as you can see, this text is quite small, but it's still quite readable, so this handles all the titles I throw at it really well. It's just, this clamshell would do it a little bit better, or sometimes even much better, with additional HDMI capabilities, comfort options, control, comfort, like, yeah, it's cool. So, cheers guys, have a good one. I hope that was useful for some of you, and yeah, feel free to ask me any questions. Am I once again going to buy this for myself? Probably not, just because I didn't use this smaller handheld to a full extent. I didn't play all the games I wanted to play with it, so for me, not much reason to pay money to play the same games on a similar platform. But at the same time, if a thinner, more portable version comes out, I might as well just even make the switch. Or if the Miyoo Mini releases the one with 2 analog sticks down here, that also will be another reason for me to try it out, because playing like PSP games like that, or even PlayStation 2 games, square aspect ratio or something, that would be cool. So, cheers guys, have a good one, bye bye, I hope it was useful.